Hey everybody, it is Prince's Friend, and we are back now with part 3 of the Purple Rain Deluxe review. This video is going to cover Disc 4, which is the DVD of Prince and the Revolution Live, which was recorded in Syracuse, New York in 1985. I know that because it's the first thing that pops up on the screen when you hit play. I actually gathered all of my kids around to watch this, and that would be me, my oldest son who is 16, my middle child who's my daughter and she's 13, and then the baby, Evan, who recently just turned 1. And it was their first time watching it, and it might as well have been my first time watching it. I watched it a few decades ago on VHS one time, so I didn't really remember it. The best part about it, honestly, was that me and my kids were able to enjoy ourselves. We were jamming out, singing along. Even the baby was doing the little baby dance. And it was a really good experience. I mean, right away, we were all drawn in. Prince starts the concert with Let's Go Crazy, which makes sense. And then he takes a sharp turn into Delirious in 1999, The Little Red Corvette, some older songs that were more overtly about sex. I did love how he mixed Let's Go Crazy's special dance mix parts in with Delirious parts, which really shows you how someone can weave in and out of a groove pretty easily. When we get to Take Me With You, he really starts to take advantage of the stage and of the audience. Prince is always great at his banter back and forth with the audience. Do you want to go to bed with me? Do you want to take a bath with me? And the crowd just goes crazy. But I really liked with Take Me With You, where he calls for the crowd to sing along with the word you. So he's like, take me with... And then the crowd was loud enough, so he just throws up his hands and he walks away and just sort of stands there on stage like, come on guys, seriously. The rendition of Do Me Baby on stage is actually pretty great. I think I prefer it to the album version, even though his voice was slightly more raspy than it was on the album. But it also doesn't last as long because then he just launches right into Irresistible Bitch, really funky version of that song. And then lastly he does International Lover for like a second, and then Let's Pretend We're Married before God jumps in and tells Prince that he needs to be good. And then it really launches into some interesting stuff. He uses a lot of the keyboard sound here that eventually end up on Around the World in a Day. Not to mention that the whole sexual temptation part is straight up lifted from the upcoming album. The fight between good and bad in Prince is on full display, and he's not shy about wearing Jesus on his sleeve. And then this is where he sings God, obviously, and it's a really good rendition, lots of wonderful screams. Then he does Computer Blue and Brings Down the House. It's got lots of elements of the extended version, which I love, and the stage is just the place for that sort of thing. There's no record length constraining your creativity, you just jam it out. And just like in Purple Rain, Computer Blue launches into Darling Nikki, and I kind of had the opposite reaction to that song. His screams weren't as powerful here. It actually took away from the song because he kind of talked half of it. So, I mean, it's all personal taste here. I did like that the audience sang along loudest to the masturbating with a magazine part, as if they had been waiting the whole frickin' night to say that. The Beautiful Ones and When Doves Cry came next, but it honestly seemed like they were performed because they were expected to be performed, and not because there was any real effort or emotion put into them. It could be just my perception, but I think it gets better once you pass these two songs. Even though they're fan favorites, I don't think Prince was really into them at the time. And then the energy comes back when he gets to I Would Die For You. Again, it's got elements of the extended version, but doesn't fully commit to it, and it's kind of its own version, which I like. In this version of I Would Die For You, he actually goes up into his falsetto a little bit more, which is good. After that, in full-on Purple Rain style, he then launches into Baby I'm a Star, and I think this is one of the best parts of the concert because everybody comes on stage. It makes it feel like a P-Funk concert with the Revolution, The Time, and Apollonia 6, Sheila E.'s band. Everybody's up there at the same time and everybody's jamming out. Prince even brings up a bunch of people from the crowd and everything just gets crazy on stage. It's pretty epic and makes me wish I was one of those lucky concert goers. Eric Leeds also rocks out a wicked sax solo for everyone to dance to, and this is our first glimpse of Wally and Brooks, which surprised me. They were billed in the credits as stage security, which is funny. And then the finale is, of course, Purple Rain. Not only do you get a huge version of this song, but there is a guitar solo at the beginning, in the middle, near the end, and at the end, several times at the end. It's about 20 to 25 minutes long, this version, and it rocks so hard, especially with everybody still on stage, singing along, rocking out with them. It really delivers the full Purple Rain experience. Now, some costume changes take longer than others, I noticed, which meant that there were long portions of the concert where you just heard atmospheric music and whatnot. There was one where Wendy was throwing roses to the crowd. But the costumes themselves were really good. He went from an amazing fur shoulder to his classic Purple Rain jacket and computer blue BDSM garb, and eventually ended up in an epic black glittery piece during Purple Rain. The video quality wasn't that great, even on this new version, but you can tell that the music itself has been updated since the VHS release. It sounds amazing, even though the screen goes blurry, and you can tell that the camera to the right has something on the lens that I think puts lines on the screen. Despite the video quality, though, you can see at many times the showmanship of Prince and how he controls his band. He'll raise up 2 fingers and the band will strike twice, and he does this several times without the concert. I think it really shows you the power of a live performance. So in conclusion, I was so happy with this concert. It really just teleports you to 1985. Purple Rain wasn't just an album, and it wasn't just a movie. It was a place and time where all of the elements came together to really make Prince the most powerful man in music. Nothing can stop him, and I have to say it was an honor just to watch him on video now, not to mention that I was blessed to be able to go see him live myself one time in my life. The people who were selling the Purple Rain Deluxe knew what they were doing when they coupled this with the album. It really enhances the Prince experience, and hopefully everybody will go out there and get their hands on the 3-disc/DVD version of this. I have put a link in the description so you can go right to it, but otherwise it's so amazing, you should go check it out. And while you're doing that, leave a comment. I want to continue the discussion here. Tell me what your favorite parts of the concert were. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Facebook and Twitter. May you live to see the dawn.